All right, y'all. So in this video, we're going to talk about how to manifest money even when you're dead broke. We have to talk about this because a lot of people think with the law of attraction that they want to manifest and they got to work harder and they got to do more. But actually, you have to become the frequency of wealth, which is why I have the frequency scale right here. This is the vibrational scale of consciousness. So I'm going to teach you guys why this is important and why your manifestations, no matter how hard you try when you're trying to attract money, wealth, success, your goals, it doesn't matter. Once you understand this consciousness scale and what a frequency actually is, you will learn how to use it and shift to that timeline and manifest everything that you want. So you can't manifest abundance when you're in the frequency of survival. Most people are trying to attract abundance in the frequency of fear. So where does fear lie on this vibrational scale? As you can see, it's at the bottom. It is one of the lowest frequencies. And when you're in survival, survival is a low frequency. That means everything that you are trying to manifest takes longer. I want you to think of these as wavelengths. But before I get into that, we have to talk about what is a frequency. For those of you who don't even know what that is, when we're talking about frequency, we're talking about energy. We all have an energy, a vibration, a frequency that we give off. Some people call it an aura, a vibe. I like that person's vibe, vibration. So we're just talking about energy here, right? So we all have an energy. Everything vibrates. Everything that exists vibrates at a frequency. So to attract what you want in your life, whether it's money, success, material things, love, peace, you have to be vibrating at that frequency. So what's the difference between a vibration and a frequency? A vibration is an emotion. So if you're happy, you can be feeling happy in that moment. You know, our vibrations, the vibe we give off could change at any time depending on our emotions, how we feel. Emotions are energy in motion, but your frequency is what you frequently see. So it's the frequency that you're always in most of the time. No matter how much you change, no matter how happy you get, you go back to your emotional state that you're regularly on. I just noticed here there's a typo. Reason. ChatGPT made this chart for me, by the way. But anyways, so your frequency is what you frequently see. When you understand this, I want you to look at this chart and I want you to think of your energy like you're wearing a pair of glasses, and the glasses show you a different lens. We could be walking the same path, we could go on the same vacation, we could travel, we could read the same book, watch the same movie, but we're gonna have a different experience depending on the frequency we're in. If I'm in a good mood and you just had the worst day of your life and we both watch a comedy movie, you may not find it funny, but I might find it hilarious. That's an example of your frequency. Because you're at a low vibe and you're at a different frequency than me, we're not gonna feel the same way, no matter what we do, no matter if it's the exact same thing. We could both open up a business, start a YouTube channel, for example. And if you're in the low frequency and you think, oh man, this is not gonna work, I'm barely getting views, and you're like desperate for those views, you're desperate for that attention, you're desperate for those subscribers, your channel is at a low frequency and you're gonna vibrate much slower and it's gonna take longer for you to manifest that. But if you're in a high frequency and you have this knowing, you're at peace, you love what you do, you're happy, you're making content from a place of just being happy and excited to get the content out there, that's how your channel is gonna pick up and it's gonna broadcast a higher frequency. It's gonna manifest faster. I want you to apply this to any business. You could use this with any business, any goal, anything you desire, and use it in your life. So these are the lenses that you see through. So as you see, fear, desire, anger, pride, neutrality, willingness, acceptance. The higher the frequency, the faster you manifest, the more it flows, and the more open you are to that expanded consciousness. A perfect example of this too, actually, this is funny, a little quick joke here, but when people who smoke weed, when they're at a low frequency, they get high, so they start to feel good. That's why they call it getting high. But when you get to a higher place and you're naturally high off of life, when you smoke weed, it no longer serves you, it's no longer for you, you get low. So it brings down your frequency. So substances, things that you use, things that work for you may not work for other people. You know, depending on what vibration you're in, it could higher your frequency or lower your frequency. But let's carry on. That was just cool because when I quit weed, I was thinking about that, and that's what actually helped me stop, because there was a point where I was just getting paranoid. I'm like, why is this not making me feel good anymore? It's actually bringing me down every time I smoke. But we'll jump into that in another video. The survival and low frequency. The reason you stay in survival and low vibrational frequencies is that you have a belief system rooted in scarcity. Now, what is a belief system? You guys know what a belief is. It's you believing something that you were programmed with, something somebody told you. If I tell you right now that you look like $1,000,000, and if you believe that and you feel that, you're gonna feel confident. It's gonna give you a boost of energy. If I tell you today you look like shit and you should go get a haircut, you're gonna feel bad about yourself, depending on how strong your belief system is. If you know you still look good and you believe no matter what you look good, you're gonna feel good. But that's why we have to be careful of the belief system that we have, because if we let other people give us information, right? Information, this is a big one. It means you're forming a thought. Somebody's forming a thought and they're sharing it with you, and then now that it becomes information. Now you can choose to carry that belief system with you, or you can reject it. A lot of people have subconscious programs from when they were in school, when they were around their parents, their family, their friends, and they have all of these beliefs that they developed that they didn't even recognize weren't their own. They never questioned it. They just believed in it. So they think that money is scarce, money is evil, it's hard to get wealthy, it's hard to get rich, making money is hard. These are the belief system people have. There's not enough out there. It's hard to get a job. It's hard to start a business. When you believe that, that is what you will start to see in your reality. And the more you tell yourself this, is the more it becomes your frequency. And what did I say? Your frequency is what you frequently see. So it's like your mirror projection of your inner world. Your mindset is what's causing the outer world to happen. So people think, well, I need to work harder if I want to make more money. But you can work as hard as you want. But if you're not in alignment and on the right vibration, the right frequency, you will not change your external reality. Your inner world is a reflection, your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. So to fix the external, you have to first go within and change that programming, change that frequency, change that vibration. Carrying on. The belief system. You cannot attract wealth with a poor mindset. You must reprogram your subconscious mind, believe you are worthy of more. So how do you do that? Okay, I identified these limiting beliefs. My old programming says money's hard to get. I can't make 20K a month, 50K a month. These are your beliefs. If I tell you right now, you can make $100,000 a month, would you believe in yourself? Would you believe it? Probably not, because you haven't seen somebody do it yet, or maybe you've never experienced it yet. But if I told you there's people doing it right now, and I started to show you that it's possible, there's millions of people doing it, or hundreds of thousands of people doing it, now it's starting to change your belief. It goes from, wait, money's not hard to get. I can make money online. I can start a channel. I can get sponsorship deals. You start opening up these channels. You start to change your belief system, right? So to shift that, you have to understand, first of all, where did the belief come from and why do you believe that? And I like these words right now because I'm going to teach you guys some word alchemy for you guys. Oh, my bad. The camera died, so I'm going to pick up where I left off. But I'm going to go over this slide. So we have belief, believe, become. There's some word alchemy for you guys. So we're not going to worry about become right now. We're going to start off with belief. Belief equals be life. And what I mean by that is when you have a belief, when you have an idea, when you have information, somebody tells you something and you believe it, or maybe you don't believe it. But if you do believe it, if you believe money's hard to get, you are giving that thought and that idea life. Be life. Now it becomes a belief. You do it long enough and you start repeating it, then you believe it. Believe it. Because now it can become a program. Now it's installed in your fucking hard drive. And now you think that is your reality. That's what starts to appear. That's what starts to show up because you believe it. You've said it so many times. Damn, this never worked for me. Damn, I'm not lucky. Damn, money's hard to get. Why does nothing work for me? It's hard to make money out there. There's no jobs available. Everybody's broke. We're in a recession. I can't get clients. I can't get sales. That is a horrible belief system. If you believe that, then that's what you're going to perceive. That's what you're going to see in your reality. Remember, your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. So we must change our belief system. We must reprogram that mind. And then we have become. Be comes. If you be, it will come. So once you have these belief systems, I know it's a lot of wordplay. I hope you guys are staying with me. But when you have these systems, these programs in your mind, what happens is you start to think and then you start to feel, you start to have an emotion. You start to back that emotion with action. That's how you actually manifest. That's how you create anything. It starts with a thought. Your thought leads to feelings. Your feelings lead to action. Your action leads to the result. So if you have these thoughts in your mind, and you turn them into beliefs. You start thinking this long enough in your life, you're gonna believe it. And when you believe it, you're gonna become it. So you're gonna start taking action because you're gonna feel this way, and then you're not gonna attract the things that are gonna align you to what you're trying to manifest. I hope I said that correctly. Let me say that again. When you have these programs in your mind, it's gonna create the actions that are gonna sabotage the outcome that you want. So if you have a negative programming, you have a negative belief system, and you want wealth, you want success, you want your business to expand, to grow, you want your goals to be achieved, you are contradicting it because you are self-sabotaging. They don't align. One says, I want this. Your belief system is completely different because you could consciously say, I want $100,000 a month. But if you do not believe that you are the person or that you're able to achieve that result, then you're contradicting, and the reality will only show you what you actually believe in your subconscious mind. That's why it's very important to reprogram the subconscious mind, get rid of these limiting beliefs. So I'm going to show you how to do that just now. We're going to get there. You have to set goals that are believable to you. Having aspirations within reach generates confidence and builds momentum. So a lot of people, some clients will come to me and say, I want to start making 20K with my business. Now, 20K is not a big amount depending on who you're asking. But if somebody who's making $100, $200 a month, starting their business, or maybe even $1,000 a month, and they want to get to $20,000 a month, that is a big difference for them. So do they really believe that when they say they want that? Do they believe it's possible? For some people, yes. Others, that's a long shot, right? So how do you start is by making it real. If you are making $1,000 a month right now on your own business, 2,000 or 5,000 doesn't seem that hard, doesn't seem that far off, but 50,000 seems way out of the park. So you got to set these small goals and work your way up and build the momentum. Instead of saying 50K a month right now, I'm going to start off by saying I want to make 5,000. That's believable. I can make some more sales. I can get like maybe 2 or 3 more clients. And right there, boom, that's the 5,000. And then once you reach that 5,000, you can start stretching and raising the bar, elevating yourself, right? But it takes time. You have to set believable goals in your mind first. And then you have to envision yourself doing it. You have to have a clear image. Visualization is very important. Meditation, holding that frequency and already seeing it before it starts to appear in your reality. Because remember, I like to repeat this, your outer world is a reflection of your inner world, right? So how do you hold that frequency? We're going to move on. We've got to build that momentum. How do you actually hold that frequency to achieve your desired reality? The action and alignment holding the frequency. That's what we're going to talk about. You must take action that is in alignment with your desires in order to hold that frequency. Like I said before, what you do frequently becomes your frequency. So a lot of people think the law of attraction is just, let me sit there, think positive, visualize, and just see it in my mind. That's half of the equation. But you need aligned action. I can't say I want to be a YouTuber, I want to start a YouTube channel, and just visualize it all day and never make a video, never hit the record button, never start scripting some content, never coming up with the ideas. So you need to take aligned action. I can't start a business and say I want to help coach people, but I don't even reach out. I don't make any content. Nobody knows about my service. So visualizing is one thing and having it in your mind, a clear picture, but aligned action is what starts to create attraction, and that is the law of attraction. So how you can tell if you're at a high or low frequency is by just sitting there in stillness, quieting your mind, and listening to your thoughts. Because when you're at a low frequency, you're going to have negative thoughts, self-doubt. You're going to feel scarce. You're going to worry about your bills, your problems. That's the low frequency vibe. But when you're at a high frequency, when something good happens, someone you get some good news, maybe you made some money, maybe you just finished working out, you hit the gym, and now you're at a high frequency, you're motivated, you came up with a new idea, you're excited to make the content. That is the frequency you have to hold. So it's easy to tell when you're vibrating high, when you're vibrating low. You have to just look at your thought patterns and ask yourself, how do I feel in this moment? Because that's the challenge. It's easy when something is good's going for you to be at a high vibration, a high frequency. But when when you're stagnant, when you feel like nothing's working, and life throws a bone at you, and you're just sitting there like, damn, man, I can't get shit together. That's where you gotta learn how to shift. And that shift comes from meditation. You quiet your mind and you ask yourself, and you quiet your mind and you envision yourself at a high frequency, deals getting done, you're getting views, you're getting likes, you're getting shares, subscribers, you're building that income, you're building that business, you see money coming into your bank account. When you sit there and visualize it, then you start to feel it. Then you have that charge emotion. Now you get up and you go and take the action. And when you take the action with that frequency, with that vibration, that's when you start to create the traction. So let's move on. Celebrating wins, where focus goes, energy flows. Acknowledging your progress sends a positive signal that reinforces the vibration of success. That means anytime, so your brain, like I was saying, your brain, where focus goes, energy flows. Right now, if I tell you how many red cars did you see today, you probably can't even remember seeing a red car. But I bet you, if I go today and say there's going to be a lot of red cars on the road, and the minute you go for a drive, you're going to start noticing all the red cars that are around. But wow, I never noticed so many red cars. That's right there is because what you focus on expands. What you focus on starts to show up in your reality. It's all already there. Everything, there is already cars there. There's already money out there. There's already clients that need your service. The money's there, but it's about tapping into that awareness. So you start becoming aware of problems. You start to only see problems. When you're aware of solutions and opportunities, you start to notice them appear in your reality. So where focus goes, energy flows, right? So reinforcing that frequency and that vibration, when you start to envision yourself building that business or getting more money. So let's say you're walking down the street and you end up finding $10. Wind blows, boom, $10 hits you in the leg. You pick it up, and right there's your opportunity. Wow, $10, look at that. Money flows to me. That's a win right there. You jump on your social media, you got a couple likes, shares. Damn, people are really liking my content. People are really vibing with me. I could see my wealth building. I could see my channels building. You go to the store, you get a discount that day. Jeez, look at that. The money's just flowing to you. I'm a money magnet. You're reinforcing, even if it's the small wins, you're reinforcing yourself that mindset that you are abundant, that there's a lot of money out there. You start to notice it more show up in your reality. And you have to keep reinforcing it. Any win that you get, you celebrate, because that's how you keep the high frequency. And don't worry about other people clapping for you, because you got to be the one that believes it first. And you got to clap for yourself before the reality starts to catch up. Right? So celebrate small wins. Build the momentum. Hold the frequency. What you do frequently becomes your frequency. The test before you get blessed. This is a huge one. This is huge. The test before you get blessed. The universe will test you and show you old cycles to try and bring you back to that frequency, but that's actually an opportunity for you to step into your new self. What does that mean? That means when you are trying to become this new version of yourself, you're trying to hold that frequency, the universe is going to reappear with old things that will bring you back down. It's going to try to test you. It's going to try to see if you're actually prepared to hold that frequency, if you're actually ready for that new level up, or you're just faking it. Because what's going to happen is people are going to try to challenge you. You may not get the views on your video. You may lose money at first. You be trying to hold this high frequency. Something bad happens. You're just in a bad mood. And that right there is the test. That is actually an opportunity for you to change your mindset, because it's like a practice ground. It's like a battleground training, right? You can have that new opportunity going with your new mindset or your old mindset. You could say, damn, like, look at this. Life just keeps happening. Even if I try to meditate, even if I try to read a book, even if I try to put out content, it never works for me. Look at this. The universe, everything always goes wrong. You can sit there and complain. And what are you going to do? Go back to that low vibration. Go back to that same frequency. Or when that test appears, you can now use this as an opportunity. Step in. You know what? This is funny. This is life trying to test me. But watch this. My mindset is so powerful. I'm so strong. I'm so motivated that I know this is going to work. I have 100% faith in myself. There is no doubt in me. I am confident. Everything's going well. I already see my 50K months. And that mindset, do you even hear the difference right there? Like that energy, that mindset. You hold that long enough, the universe has to respond, because it's just a reflection of how you're feeling and how you're thinking. So that's why it's important that if you want to manifest money, wealth, success, any of that, it has to come from within first. You cannot fix the external by trying to change and just do more, because all you're going to do is burn out.
You have to go within, realign the frequency, take out the old programming and install a new version of yourself. It's like updating your laptop or your phone. You know, you're gonna sit there and try to use these apps and try to use your phone on an old software. And guess what? It's not gonna work. It's gonna crash. It's gonna freeze. It's gonna burn. You need to upgrade. But in order to upgrade, you have to install that new software. And sometimes that takes time. You know, when you're installing a new program on your phone or you're updating your laptop, there's that time period where it has to load and it has to download and has to offload all the old things and reinstall new things. So that time period, that waiting period is where a lot of people go back to their old self. So you have to understand that frequency is just loading. You have to believe in your mind, and reality takes time to catch up. It can be days, weeks, months, depending on what level of belief you have in vibration. You could collapse that time to change your frequency. And guys, I have many topics like this. I'm gonna have many more videos. Let me know if you guys like the new format. But this is what I'm gonna be teaching. And if you want to learn more, I also offer coaching. I have a book, Becoming the Frequency of Wealth. Go download it. It's in the description, or you can buy the soft copy. I offer free coaching if you wanted some clarity. Message me, DM me, follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and you can also join the Elevate Academy where we teach the mind, the body, the physical, the spiritual, all of that step by step on how to become wealthy, how to build an online business, and how to level up your frequency. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Drop a comment. Let me know some topics you guys want to talk about, but you already know.